Hello and welcome back to Broadside Game. You and me, Zug. So today we're taking another look at the Ogryn. I finally managed to get all the blessings and stuff that I've been after, so I've been doing a lot more testing, and we've changed a few bits around with the builds. So I've got three builds actually in this video that I'm going to go over on how and when to use them, and if you prefer different things, we should have something that everyone will be quite happy with. So let's jump in and have a look. So the first build is sort of just an all-rounder pickaxe. I would probably use the Carsolus light pickaxe with it. And for this you want perk-wise Flak and Maniac with Head Taker and Slaughterer, or Head Taker and Thunderous. Head Taker and Slaughterer will give you the most sort of output damage on just every swing. Thunderous helps you bring down those tougher targets. And for your dump stat, it's going to be defense every time with the pickaxes. All three of them, you want defense to be the lowest and everything else to be as close to 80 as you can get it. Next up is our ranged weapon. Again, you can use whatever ranged weapon you like. I stick with the kickback because, I don't know how many times I've said this now, it basically has unlimited range. You just ignore the range bar modifier on it. It doesn't mean anything because this thing, if you can see the target, you can hit it. And let's hope they never change that. And as for the perks, Flak and Maniac, usually pretty good. And blessing-wise, Full Bore and Surgical. This is just going to give you a really nice oomph of damage when you finally let it go. Especially if you're tracking specials like hounds, mutants, all sorts. You just hold it aimed for a little bit. And as you see down at the bottom, Surgical stacks up stupidly quickly. And it punches through almost all targets. And even without Surgical, it still does a hell of a lot of damage. Just like that. As for the curios, we're going with my general standard for the Ogryn, because I've gotten this to a nice place now, and I think this pretty much works on all difficulties and builds. So you want two of them with max health. And then on one, you want damage-resistant snipers, extra toughness, and damage-resistant gunners. On the second, you want stamina regeneration, toughness, and damage-resistant gunners. You want the stamina regeneration to help you with blocking. That's all it's there for, but it's very important. And then the last one is a toughness curio with damage-resistant snipers, damage-resistant gunners, and extra toughness. We're not putting any extra health on these because you start hitting massive diminishing returns with plus health. So preferably these would both be plus 21% health, but I haven't been lucky enough to find two of those yet. And then this one would be plus 17% toughness. And I'm just going to mouse over them again slowly so you can see each one. But I found so far this is the optimal setup. And you do not want to add extra health, you want to add extra toughness if you want that as your last perk. If you really wanted to, you could get rid of both toughness perks on there and go for another stamina regeneration and another sniper damage reduction. But at that point, it's not really, it's personal choice at that point. So for the talents, it's going to look a little bit weird because this is not usually the way I do things for the Ogryn. But what we're doing here is we're taking heavyweight for damage against bulwarks, crushers, plague ogrins, and reapers. Also receive 30% damage reduction against the same. This is one of the most important nodes in all of Ogryn builds. If you ever see a build that says don't take this, it is wrong. Linchpin, always good because it makes everything you do 50 in coherency and buffing like that. It's good. Then toughness boost node over here. Then we're grabbing Smash 'em into the Big Friendly Rock, which is just another sniper ability. You can just take out gunners, anything you want with that. Slam into Indomitable. Stomping Boots. Pulverize for putting bleed stacks on your charge. We're going to be going Batter, inflict 4 stacks of bleed on heavy melee hit. All your hits are going to be heavy, well, mostly. And then we're going to grab Heavy Melee Damage Boost. which does exactly what it says on the tin. We're not going for the Bone Breaker's Aura. We're going to come down here through the middle to grab some extra health. We're going to grab Hard Knocks, 1% damage to your next heavy melee attack on enemy stagger, stacks 25 times, lasts 10 seconds. The larger the enemy, the more stacks are earned. Now, with this, doesn't just mean your melee attacks. If you look down in the bottom left, you'll see 4 stacks, 12 stacks, 16. As you can see, because the kickback staggers things, you gain stagger stacks from the kickback as well, which is cool. And then we're going to be grabbing Stay Close, 25% toughness replenishment for you and your allies in coherency. Another reason why we've taken Linchpin. And then we're going to go into the middle and grab Get Stuck In and Bruiser. Gives your entire team more movement when you activate your charge, and gives you a lovely bit of cooldown reduction. Now we're going to jump over here onto the left, grabbing the 5% melee damage, Delight and Destruction, Dominate for more rending, which is just equals 10% damage really. And then all the way down here, we're picking up all of the heavy hitter nodes. You do actually want to take Brutish Momentum. I know a lot of people don't like it, but if you get caught in a situation where you can't heavy, you have to just quickly snap off some light hits. This is going to make sure your heavy hitter doesn't drop, because you don't want this dropping ever. That's why there is an achievement for keeping it going as long as you can. So a little bit weird because we're not taking Furious or the best defense, but it's quite a nice all-round build for using a lighter pickaxe, especially the Cast Solus. But I did say I've got a few other builds, which I do, and we're going to jump into those now. Next one up is another pickaxe build, obviously, but this is with the Branks. And with this, you would want Flak and Maniac, or Flak and Carapace. Carapace Unyielding, they all work really well. I generally just stick with Flak and Maniac because that's what you'll mostly be seeing, especially Rages, Specials, all that sort of thing. It's just hedging your bets to that. Now the kickback is exactly the same as the last time, is the same weapon. There you go. Range is your dump stat. It's exactly as it was in the first build. And same for the curios, they are exactly the same as the first build, because these are pretty much all-rounder curios. 1 toughness, 2 health, with gunner and sniper resistance and a bit of stamina. But what does change is the talents. Now, as you can see here, we've got Heavyweight, Smash 'em, Furious, the best defense. Into the Big Friendly Rock, we are losing Linchpin. Slam, Indomitable, with Stomping Boots and Pulverize. We're taking Batter. I have taken the point out of Crunch. The only time I would really take Crunch with a pickaxe build is if your pickaxe had Thrust on it. If it has Thrust on it, you're winding up the swing and holding it long enough to get all 3 stacks of Thrust, which will also then proc Crunch, and you're doing something like 100% extra damage. But unless you're doing that with Thrust, there's not much point taking it, because you're not going to be holding the heavy attacks long enough to really get that boost. But we are taking Batter. Down into Bonebreaker's Aura, we'll jump into the middle here, we'll grab Attention Seeker and Payback Time. This is to help your team out, so blocking or pushing an enemy taunts them, gets everything coming to you. It also lets you ball up enemies in front of you so you can keep cleaving through them. And then Payback Time, 20% damage for 5 seconds after being hit by a melee attack. You're going to get hit a lot, so this is just a rolling damage increase. And then we've got over here on the left, 2 Stopping to Die, 100% toughness replenishment while below 25% health. This will help you with clutching. No Stopping Me, become uninterruptible while charging heavy melee attacks. You're going to be heavy attacking all the time. This is pretty much necessary. And then Delight and Destruction, damage resistance per bleeding enemy. And Dominate, 10% rending, which is 10% damage. And again, all the way down here, grabbing all of the nodes for heavy hitter. So with the Branks, a lot of people don't think you can do any cleave with it, which is not true. You can, it just requires you to figure out how you actually cleave with As you see there, when you're swinging from left to right, if you just turn your camera slightly with the swing, it's exactly the same as using the slab shield. You can turn that into a wider swing to get some cleave going on. And it's always got that nice burst overhead attack for breaking into heavy armor. And of course you can just light attack, which is pretty much always a headshot if you need to. And because we've taken all of the heavy hitter nodes, light attacking refreshes the duration on our heavy hitter, so that we're never going to be losing extra damage when we have to switch between heavy to light. And of course the big friendly rock. It's fun for throwing at things. Doesn't blow through though. It will hit one target and that's it. Unless they're all gathered up. If they're all standing on top of each other, then it will count as hitting all of them. But if they're spread out enough, it will hit the first target and do nothing to the second. So you can't count on it doing that. And then we have the last build. I would say this build is more if you've never really played the Ogryn, but you're interested in getting into it and playing with the pickaxes. Because, you know, they are fun. So with this build again, I'm just using the Branks, but you can use any of the pickaxes you want to. I'm not a massive fan of the Borvorian or the Bovine. I just don't like the attack pattern on it. I prefer either the heavy or the medium, but, you know, by all means, use whatever the hell you want. With this build, it doesn't matter that much. Blessing-wise, Slaughterer, Head Taker, perks, Flak and Maniac, or Unyielding and the Carapace, however you want to go on with it. Pretty much the same thing for the Curos as the last two builds. As I said, these Curos are pretty much universal for the Ogryn, or at least universal for how I play the Ogryn. If you don't like them, obviously go with what you want, but I do strongly suggest never, never, never taking 3 Curos with health, because the last Curo will basically be worthless because of the diminishing returns through stacking health. The kickback is the same as the other one as well. Blaze away. Oh no, it's not actually. I'm a liar. It's a different one. This one has Blaze Away and Surgical. It is a pretty decent way to build it. Blaze Away, obviously, you get more damage for firing shots in quick succession. So if you're firing off a lot of shots, Blaze Away does stack up. So you can either use it this way, or you can use it full bore and surgical. They're all pretty decent. I just tend to go more towards full bore and surgical these days, because I like that guarantee that if I'm going to unload it into the face of, say, a mutant or a rager, full bore is going to have my back to do that extra damage. Now, as I said before as well, on the pickaxes, your dump stat is always defense. You do not need defense on these things. I mean, you do, but it's not that important. You need everything else to be up. You want damage, first target, and penetration to be up as high as you can. Cleave, you can maybe drop a little bit in it, but not too much. Defense, that is the dump. Right, so let's jump into the talents. So the top is going to look pretty standard. Furious into the best defense, into Smash 'em, into heavyweight, down into linchpin. But we are taking Frag Bomb. Now, the reason I've gone with Frag Bomb for this build, because I think this is a more user-friendly, new player-friendly build. Frag Bomb allows you to basically have an oh crap button. You're surrounded, you can't do anything, you're trying to get your teammates up. It will clear the room for you, but you do only have one of them. So use it when necessary, but don't be scared to use it. There are lots of grenades throughout every map. If you think the situation is hairy enough, drop a frag bomb, clear the room, save everyone. So, that is Frag Bomb. I'm going to get Soften Them Up. Enemies damaged by you take 15% more damage for 5 seconds. This is really good for helping the team as well. Not only do you get extra damage off of them, but so does your team. And then we're going to be grabbing Loyal Protector. Taunt enemies within 8 meters, making them attack only you for 15 seconds. It's just really good to get them off of your team. You are a big, strong target. Block, slash, hack. get through them. Then we're going to be taking valuable distraction. Thank you. Enemies affected by a Loyal Protector take 25% base damage from all targets. Again, it's like soften them up. You're helping your team. This is really helping the team. And then Big Lungs. Loyal Protector has a 50% increased radius. This also doesn't... I don't think it benefits from Linchpin. I think only these benefit from Linchpin, so I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Then we'll be jumping down here, grabbing Batter, inflict 4 stacks of bleed on heavy melee hits. Bonebreaker's Aura. And then we'll be grabbing Delight and Destruction, just to give you that damage resistance per bleeding target, and hopefully everything will be bleeding. Dominate, just a bit more damage. And then we'll be coming over here to the middle, where you'll see the rest of our points are spent. So the first thing we're going to be grabbing is Attention Seeker. This allows you to also taunt outside of using Loyal Protector. Payback time, 20% damage for 5 seconds after being hit by a melee attack. This is to give you just more raw damage. Then we're going to be grabbing No Pushover. Block an attack reduces your push cost by 20% for 5 seconds. Blocking an attack, sorry. So this is just going to give you more ability to push, block, and counter hit. And this is also why we're taking a little tiny bit of stamina on our curios. Then health boost, and then we're going to be grabbing Feel No Pain. You are blessed with 10 stacks of Feel No Pain. Each stack grants 2.5% toughness replenishment and 2.5% damage reduction. This is going to make you very, very, very tough. And then we're going to be grabbing Strongest. Pushing enemy restores 1 stack of Feel No Pain. Again, while we're grabbing No Pushover, and again, while we're putting stamina on the curio. And then we're going to be grabbing Toughest. Feel No Pain grants 2.5% toughness replenishment per stack. And then the last one, and this is one a lot of people, well, it's 50-50. People either like it or they hate it. Pained Outburst. When Feel No Pain reaches 0 stacks, you push back enemies and replenish 20% toughness. This is very, very, very good if you get in a bad situation. For example, you're cut off from your team and there's a Chaos Hound on you and you can't do anything about it. The Chaos Hound will damage you enough that your Feel No Pain will break, and this will knock the dog off of you. It will not get you out of Trapper's nets though. This will just deal with Chaos Hounds. And also, if things are getting real bad, you're surrounded, this will just knock everything back to give you that little tiny bit of breathing room. But this build in general, I would say, is much easier to get used to than, say, the heavy hitter bleed builds. Because this allows you to have just that extra bit of cushioning while you're learning to play. Obviously, if you're already an experienced player, but you do like Feel No Pain, yeah, try it out, see what you think. But there you go. These are the builds I've been working on for the last couple of days since I've changed out the blessings and things. Final note, I do think Head Taker and Slaughter are 2 of the best blessings you can put on a pickaxe, but also you can mix it up though with Head Taker and Thunderous, because you are putting 20% brittleness on the target, and that brittleness affects all of your team, so they all get that 20% damage to that target. So it's good, but I do think Head Taker and Slaughterer kind of just outbeat it in the sense of output and damage. Obviously, don't use Limb Splitter. It's not very good. It sounds nice. It's not that great. When I say it sounds nice, I mean on paper, you think, oh, a little bit more damage. It's like, yeah, it's actually terrible. There you go, folks. That's the 3 build selection for you. I really do hope you have enjoyed the video, and I really do hope you enjoy the builds. If you do, let us know in the comment section down below. And if you've enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, ring that little bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And I shall see you all for the next one. And don't forget to come and join us live every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, where we will be playing Darktide or other games. So until then, see you later.